Do not do a flip until you watch this video. What is going on, everybody? Clifford Walker here, founder of the Real Estate Corral Investors Network. I pray that y'all are just doing incredibly well. Listen, I want to talk about flips and doing flips. Now, I have been in real estate investing since 2019, and I have done my fair share of flips. And flips is one of those strategies that look a lot more glamorous on TV than they do in person, okay? Although they're not all bad. And I want to share with you some pointers or tips that can really help your flip become a lot more successful. So this way you don't lose your tail. I have seen so many new investors literally crying in tears, losing money because they did not follow these simple rules. All right. So, number one, if you are looking to get started on your very first flip, do not purchase a property um, unless it meets the golden formula. So for me, that's 70% of the ARV minus repairs. That's rule number one, okay? I do not care if you love that neighborhood. I don't care if that is a house that you grew up in. I do not care if that was your cousin's best friend's aunt's house and it has tons of sentimental value to you, okay? If that property does not meet the golden formula, do not, do not, do not flip it, okay? Your job is to make money, not to lose money, okay? We need to base all of our decisions off of data and numbers, not emotion, okay? That's very, very crucial. Step number two, if you're doing your first flip, and this will be the only time that I ever tell anybody this, start small, okay? Not small in regards to house size or square footage, but small in regards to project size, okay? If this is your very first flip, do not go in there trying to do a 60, 70, $80,000 rehab. That is a major rehab, okay? Not only that, that is a lot that is going to come with that. If you don't have any experience doing those size flips, I promise you, you are going to overlook things. You're going to undercalculate things. Stuff is going to come up that is going to absolutely blow the budget. And you need to start small. For example, when I first started my very first year as a real estate investor, I did 4 flips. But let me explain what these flips were. They were basically like hotels, right? We went in there, we did maybe paint, flooring, cabinets, maybe something very quick. And so we were in and out of these properties very, very quickly. Now, when you go and get a private money loan or a hard money loan, do you think that they really care about the project size? No, they don't. When they look and I share with them, hey, this is what I bought the house for, this is how much I put in here, and this is how much we made. So now they have a track record of me being profitable on my first 4 flips. So when I go to get a private money loan or a hard money loan on those next flips, guess what? It now becomes easier, okay? Not only that, I'm fine tuning where I should be getting materials from, right? What materials work best. I'm building my connections in regards to contractors. So you want to start small, all right? Now, the next tip when getting started with flips, line your contractors up before closing, all right? So normally when we have a property under contract, we will schedule these out normally 2-3 weeks out in advance. But in the meantime, before we get ready to close, I have actually lined up my contractors. I have had several contractors actually go out there, walk the property. They know kind of the SOPs, what's going on, the scope of work, so to speak, is actually what I meant, right? They understand the scope of work, what needs to be done. And also I make sure that they're on my time frame. So I let them know like, hey, this is the start date. This is when we close. So when we actually go to close on the house, guess what? Now people are starting that evening or the very next day. I have literally seen people buy these properties and scramble for a whole month trying to find contractors. And guess what? Time is money. If you got that property on a private money lender or a hard money lender, you're still paying interest on that. Okay. And so you're actually losing money. So if it's going to take you 3 months, 4 months to fully rehab that house, and you've been sitting here on it for a month trying to sit here and find contractors, that's not what you want. In fact, what if your contractor is working another job and they say, hey, Clifford, I know that you want to start at the end of this month, but I'm going to actually need to start on, a week after that, right? I'm going to say, okay, perfect. Well, now I'm going to call the title company or seller. If we're able, right, I'm going to say, hey, we need to postpone our closing until a week later, right? Because I'm telling you, I do not want to be sitting on a house for weeks at a time. And then the last tip that I'll give you, actually, I'll give you a couple more. I hope this makes sense. If this is valuable, put this in the comments below. Next, pick out your materials before closing. Listen, do not be like these people on HGTV and all these house flipping shows where you think the project is going underway and then you're going to be in home and decor and all of these house shows, antique shopping, looking for these incredible finds and stuff. No, do not do that, right? You are in this business to make money. You are a real estate investor, right? So I want to have all of my materials picked out before I go to closing, right? So my contractors know where we're getting materials. This actually gives me a really good, solid idea on repair costs, and I can budget my materials. And this also keeps you from going over budget and also keeps you from doing last minute changes. All right. When you're going into those stores, that's when you start to break the bank. Okay. That's when you start getting emotionally attached and you see something and you're like, oh, that's so cute. I want to put that in my property. No, do not do that. Okay. Have those materials picked out beforehand. And then the last tip that I'll give you, which I could go on and on in regards to flipping. If you want a part 2 to this video, put in the comments below, and I don't mind that. Next, know your days on market. Okay. So right now, houses are sitting on the market longer than ever. I believe the national average on houses sitting on the market are 88 days. Okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing if we take that into calculation, right? So instead of doing a 70% deal, I might need this at a 60% deal or a 65% deal to take into consideration the, almost 3 months of carrying costs that house is going to be sitting on the market, right? So now things change. If we're going and spending 3 months to rehab this property and then it takes another 3 months for it to sell, well, that's 6 months and you haven't even gotten a paycheck yet. So it's not a bad thing if I know that and I can adjust my offer according to that on the front end. I've seen, again, so many new investors call me freaking out saying, hey, Clifford, it's been 32 days and my house is still sitting. And then let's say, for example, if they're a part of the corral and we go through this and I'm like, okay, well, it looks like the average days on market or in this area is 180 days. Well, actually, my community, they're going to know that beforehand, right? But so many other investors don't know that. So make sure that you pay very close attention to your days on market, all right? So I pray these tips were valuable to you, if you are looking into getting into flips, again, not to scare you, an incredible strategy, but we have to play this strategy based off of data and not emotion. All right. So thank y'all. And always click on the link below. I have an up and coming masterclass, a free live training that you can register for. And then also please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a beautifully blessed day.